Hi, this is Dave. In my last video, I told you about my trip I took to Florida to attend a meeting. In this video, I want to talk about how I was able to take that trip without wasting a lot of money. I like to be frugal when I travel. I like to be frugal all the time, but especially when I travel. So let's take a look at the various aspects of travel and how I was able to do it for a reasonable amount of money. Now, the first one may not sound frugal at first, because I had to fly to Florida from Michigan, and I always take Delta. I've tried other airlines. Oh, by the way, Delta is not sponsoring this video. It's just what I do. I've tried other airlines, and I've always wished I hadn't because there were weird delays and stuff that you just seem to run into less often with Delta than you do with other airlines. So I always take Delta. Now, sometimes that's the more expensive airline. But because I always take Delta and I travel a fair amount, I'm able to take some advantages that you can get when you always travel the same airline. I use the Delta credit card. Delta has various levels of credit cards. I used to have their gold one, and now I have their platinum one. I was originally attracted to the gold one because even though there was an annual fee for it, it provided me with free check-in luggage. And I always take checked luggage. And the card pretty much paid for itself by providing me with the free checked luggage. Eventually, they talked me into stepping up to the platinum level of credit card. And that one has a $350 a year fee. And for a lot of people, that wouldn't be worth it. Now, it was worth it for me because you get certain advantages. You still get the free checked luggage, and they also reimburse me or give me some kind of statement credit anyway when I pay for TSA PreCheck. And if you travel a lot, you want to have TSA PreCheck. You walk right past these horribly long lines, you go into a short line, don't have to take off your shoes, don't have to take your computer out of your bag. It's really nice, and I get reimbursed for it because I have the Platinum credit card. The big thing that originally sold me on it is the fact that once a year I can take my wife with me somewhere within the United States for free. We always take advantage of this, or almost always. So, for instance, earlier this year, I needed to go to a meeting in San Antonio, Texas. Well, I knew they had that river walk, and I thought my wife would really enjoy that. And so I brought her with me. While I was in my meetings, she was able to take advantage of the river walk. My ticket for that trip was about $700. Hers was free. So in that one trip, we more than paid for my annual fee, $350 for that credit card. And of course, you get your points for toward the free flights, and we've taken at least one free round trip, I think, back and forth to Arizona, just with points. And that's a nice little advantage there too. Some of the less known things are, and this is true, I think, with all the Delta credit cards, you have to sign up for this. Most of the places I go, I have to rent a car. And then you have the dilemma, well, do I pay for the insurance? Now, a lot of people will say, well, between my own car insurance and my credit card that I use, they'll get it paid for if I get in a wreck. Well, you run into questions and hassles and paperwork, and I don't want to deal with all that. And so I used to just pay the extra per day cost for the insurance for the rental car. That got to be a lot of money. Well, with my credit card that I have through Delta, now if I pay for the rental using that credit card, they give me a one-time charge, I think it's about $20, and then they are the first insurer. So if I get the car in a wreck, and assuming I can walk away, then I just give the rental car company the customer service number for my credit card, and I walk away and they deal with it, and I don't have to worry about it any more than that. To me, that's a huge advantage. Big peace of mind, and ultimately, because I travel a fair amount, I save a lot of money. The other thing that I just found out recently, and I've taken advantage of last year and this year, is Delta stays. And again, has to do with my credit card. So one time per year, if I go through Delta Stays to book my hotel, and it's like going through Expedia or hotels.com, it's just a different one like that. For one stay, they will give me a credit on my credit card bill for $150. Well, this past August, my wife and I went to a family gathering in Canada, and we stayed at a hotel overnight, and the hotel was maybe $166.67, if I recall. I got my $150 credit, so ultimately that hotel cost me $16.67 for that night in the hotel. That was pretty good. So between those things, for me, with what I do, with my lifestyle, it's worthwhile for me to have that Delta credit card. And even though Delta is maybe one of the more expensive airlines, for me, it's still a frugal way to go because of all the other things I take advantage of. So now on this trip, I was going to a meeting that was at a hotel. It was at an expensive hotel in a downtown area in St. Petersburg, Florida. But because I was going to stay at the same hotel that the meeting was at, I really didn't need a rental car. And so I took an Uber. That was great because not only did I save the expense of the rental car itself, when you stay at those expensive hotels in downtown areas, they tend to have parking fees. And there was a $45 per day parking fee at this hotel. My Uber was about $40 to get from the airport to the hotel and another $40 to get from the hotel back to the airport. And then I was done. And I didn't have to even fight the traffic or worry about where I was going. They dropped me right off at my hotel. On the way back, they dropped me right off at my terminal at the airport. And it was quick and easy. It was good. So when you can, if you can take the Uber instead of renting a car, it can be a big cost savings. Now let's talk about the hotel itself. When I have a choice, I find my hotels through hotels.com, which is, I think it's part of Expedia. It's like a lot of other sites. But I spend a lot of time looking at a lot of different hotels, and I make sure I get one that's reasonably priced. It's in the area I want to be, has good reviews. I spend a lot of time looking through reviews, and I always look for free breakfast. That can be a huge savings. If you have to buy breakfast at a restaurant, that's a lot of money. If you can get it at the hotel, and I always really enjoy those hotel breakfasts, I really do. I save a lot of money, it's a lot less hassle, it's a good frugal way to go. Now, for this particular trip, I did not have a choice. The meeting was at an expensive hotel in a downtown area, and normally I could not afford to stay at a hotel like that. But because I was part of that meeting, the hotel had a special group rate for people who were attending that meeting, and that made it affordable for me. So now let's talk about food. When I first arrive anywhere, I need to find water. My expensive hotel provided water for $3 per small bottle. I walked to a nearby convenience store and bought a 3-liter bottle of water for $1.79. That got me through my 3 days in the hotel. The more expensive hotels never provide a free breakfast. So if I'm staying at an expensive hotel like I was on the Florida trip, I bring my own breakfast. I buy a box of cereal at Aldi and bring it with me in my suitcase. Breakfast is dry cereal that I eat right out of the box and wash down with water. The alternative was to spend probably about $15 per day for a glass of orange juice and a bagel at the restaurant in the hotel. My cereal was $1.95 for the box. I ate 3 breakfasts, so that was 65 cents per day for breakfast. I also bring lunch. I used to bring peanut butter and jelly and bread and make sandwiches. I find it easier to bring these energy bars that I buy at Aldi. Lunch is 3 of the bars on the left and 1 bar on the right. I wash them down with water. As you can see from the math on the screen, Lunch is about $2 per day. For supper, remember that I did not have a rental car. The restaurant inside the expensive hotel is way too expensive for me. I could have walked to some nearby sit-down restaurants, but I preferred to grab some takeout and eat it in my room. I was there for 3 days. The first night, I walked to a nearby Subway and got their special. It was a 6-inch sub, a fountain drink, and a bag of chips for about $8. The second night, I walked to a nearby Chinese takeout. I got the sweet and sour chicken. They had a small and a large. The small was perfect for me. It was about $10. The third night, I went back to the Subway and got their special. The special on Thursday was a different kind of sandwich than the one on Tuesday, and I got it on flatbread instead of wheat bread. 3 nights, 3 suppers, for a total of about $26. That's how I travel without wasting a lot of money. It's also the way I really enjoy traveling. Join me in future videos for more retirement adventures.